Hi Charlie, welcome to the 41st day of my video polling experiment where I break down and analyze the LinkedIn poll that I posted last week and that closed this morning. Now, you know that I've always wanted to get a real cat, even if my financial situation doesn't allow for it right now. So last week, I decided to follow up on my love for cats. I am definitely 100% a self-identified cat person by asking the poll question, has caring for a pet become too expensive? There were 3 answer choices: yes, no, and it depends. And I was inspired to ask this question by the fact that inflation is slowly eroding the purchasing power of the dollar. Of course, it's been doing that for hundreds of years, especially during the last 50 years, but that effect is definitely more pronounced now, at least maybe compared to a decade or two ago. So basically, every dollar that you earn this year is less valuable. It can purchase less things than a dollar that you acquired last year. And that makes it harder and harder to afford to take care of a pet, because usually when you get a pet, you have to pay some kind of fee. If you're living in an apartment, you have to pay a kind of monthly pet fee or some kind of deposit or one-time pet fee. You have to feed the pet. You have to, if it's a cat, you have to get a litter box. There are just a lot of supplies that go into owning a pet, and a big expense for a lot of pet owners is pet health care. So anyway, with all of these expenses, I kind of wanted to gauge if my audience considered having a pet to be too expensive, because a lot of my audience are established professionals who probably earn decent incomes, and they would be perhaps a bit more likely than the average American to be able to afford a pet and not consider the care of the pet to be too expensive. So anyway, this poll question got 88 votes. 50% of them said that yes, caring for a pet has become too expensive. 25% said that no, caring for a pet is not too expensive. And 25% said that it depends. So I was a bit surprised at how many people thought that caring for a pet had become too expensive. As a college student with a limited income, I can 100% see how having a pet could put a significant financial strain on someone who is already struggling to make ends meet, because that money that you spent on your cat's vet bill because they swallowed an eraser or something could have gone toward rent or paying off your car loan, something like that, that's a bit more tangible and beneficial to you. But at the same time, a pet is a nice companion to have, probably significantly cheaper than having a child, while still giving you the opportunity to care for a living creature that depends on you and loves you and appreciates you. Though how much cats actually appreciate us versus thinking that they are gods that we're worshiping is debatable, and I'm sure there are a lot of scientific studies about that. So anyway, on to some statistics about pet spending and pet care. Pet spending increased by 11% from 2019 to 2023. Annual U.S. pet spending is projected to reach $260 billion in 2030. In 2023, the global pet insurance industry was worth $11.6 billion. This pet insurance industry is expected to grow by 2.9 times by 2030 to $33.6 billion. Today's average vet bill is 60% more expensive than in 2014. Now, I'm sure that inflation has increased dramatically in the last 11 years, but I don't think that inflation has increased by a cumulative amount of 60%, which just goes to show you that vet bills are increasing faster than even inflation. So that little accident that you had with your cat 11 years ago is going to be 60% more expensive to fix at the vet than it was back then. In Los Angeles and New York City, luxury dog daycares can cost up to $1,400 monthly. So it just goes to show you how much people truly can love their pets so much that they're willing to spend the equivalent of an ordinary person's rent payment, or if it's a single person, double a person's monthly rent payment, just to make sure that their pet is well cared for. So anyway, Charlie, I hope you appreciate my little spiel about pet care. And while I'm very grateful that you are an extremely cheap pet to care for, I don't need to feed you, I don't need to take you to the vet, you're never going to have any medical problems, and all I need to do to care for you is keep you out of the sunlight so you don't fade too much, and dust you occasionally to make sure that dust doesn't accumulate on your beautiful fur. Having a real pet at some point, like a real cat, would be a real treat, and of course I would try to keep expenses to a minimum, just because My financial situation is not that of a millionaire, that is definitely for sure. But anyway, Charlie, I hope that someday I can have a real pet, a real cat, a real Charlie. But until then, I'm very grateful that you are my pet and that you are willing to listen to my spiels about various trending topics. And anyway, as always, I wanted to show you the poll as it was posted on LinkedIn, just to show that I'm not making up these statistics. Here is the poll question. As you can see, it has 88 votes. Exactly 50% of them said that yes, a pet is too expensive. As for the other answer choices, that was split down the middle, 25% and 25%. Okay, Charlie, thank you so much for listening to my spiel about pet care, and stay tuned tomorrow for my 40-second poll. I cannot believe that I have been doing this for almost 6 weeks, but I'm still here, and I'm glad you're still listening, and I'm glad for all my wonderful viewers and subscribers for tuning in. Thank you, Charlie, and have a wonderful day.